Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are now continuing our meeting to the next session. That is to hear the first invited speaker, which will be delivered by Professor Dr. Mansour Al-Mazrou from King Abdul Aziz University, Saudi Arabia. The invited speech will be moderated by Dr. Rizka Ekawita. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome screen by Professor Dr. Mansour Al-Mazrou and Dr. Rizka Ekawita.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Again, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The opening session will be started. All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Today, I will be the moderator in this session. I'm very happy to see you again in this conference. You're still here to join with our conference till right now. Our invited speaker is Professor Dr. Mansour Al-Mazrou. Welcome, Professor Mansour.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, allow me to welcome the speaker, Professor Dr. Mansour Al-Mazrou, to deliver his presentation with the title IPCC ER6 Climate Change in the Past, Present, and Future. You can deliver your presentation with the 30 minutes to present and 50 minutes to question and answer.
Yeah.
Professor Mansour, time is yours.
Okay. Can you see the slide?
Not yet.
You see it now?
Please, the operator can display. Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yes, please, Professor.
Slide, okay. Can you hear it now?
Professor Mansour?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. But we cannot see your share screen.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear your voice, but we cannot see your share screen.
Okay, just a second. Can you see it now? Oh, no, not this one.
Okay, 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 we can see it.
No, it's not this one. You can see it now?
Yes, yes, okay, Professor, okay.
So, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الخلق المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى صحبه وسلم. My presentation today is really about IPCC changes, climate change in the past, present, and future. So I'm working in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So this is my CV, actually, a brief profile with Mansour. I'm professor in King Abdulaziz University, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where we have Department of Meteorology. Also, I'm board member of the Center for Excellence for Climate Change in Egypt. Also, board of director of the Center for Excellence for Climate Change in KU. also the ex-director of the Center of Excellence for Climate Change Research in Saudi Arabia. Also, I was ex-head for 13 years in Department of Meteorology. So I'm head of the department for 13 years. Actually, I'm also having member of the Emergency Disaster Committee in KF the University. Also, the member of supercomputer project of Aziz supercomputer, and I'm actual managing editor for the system and the environment, and also assistant editor in another journal. So this is the CFIC. I'm going to distribute that, by the way, the presentation. So this is actually the international recognition. I'm actually member of the IPCC 6 assessment report, where it is a work group 1, in fact, which is now finished. Also contributing author in chapter 2 of assessment report for the chapter 11, which is extreme. Also contributing author in the Atlas. By the way, by the end of the session, we'll give a tutorial on how to use the Atlas. Now, this one actually is the supercomputer Aziz of KU, because with the Aziz supercomputer, we are able to do multi-simulations, we're learning multi-model and have big storage. So this is actually very important if you want to do climate change study, because if you want to do climate change study, you have to have supercomputer. So in Indonesia, I don't know whether there's supercomputer, but you can see here, it's about 7.5 petabyte storage, about 7,500 petabytes. Also, the Center of Excellence for Climate Change is having this structure, which is very good actually to have. Now, what I'm going to say to you, the signals of climate change before going to the presentation, we already have noticed flood in Pakistan and flood in the Middle East, and also drought and heat waves in Europe. So we'll give you just only brief about this as a signals of climate change. Why we want to start the presentation, because there are some evidence of climate change happened in the current time. So, for example, in Pakistan, there was in summer 2020 there was monsoon caused the most catastrophic flooding in Pakistan history, flooding 1/3 of the country. Can you imagine? 1/3 of the country was flooded, affecting 45 million people and over 2,000 lives. And how much is the loss? About 10 billion. The second one actually happened was in 2010. So that one actually was considered the longest, actually, the biggest one. But in 2022, almost a decade, come the one which is doubled. So this one, you can see it is 1/5 of the stations. And this one is 1/3. Can you see? 1/3 and here 1/5. And the loss here, how much is the loss? 1 billion. Or in the 2022, it was 10 billion. Can you imagine? It was very big, actually. Now, this is in 2022, the region where flooded was called the Sindh. Can you see the Sindh? And all this area is really flooded. So this is devastating flood in Pakistan, which is very harsh. We have many pictures actually for Pakistan. Can you see how much is it, the devastating? This is in Pakistan. Imagine this is what happened in the flood of Pakistan. It's really very huge. You can see it's really very huge in many ways. This is another picture that many pictures you can find even in the YouTube. We can find many pictures.
I know.
We don't know why it's not coming, but let's go for the presentation. So this is the Pakistan actually. Now here the Middle East, by the way. Did you hear about UAE? There was flood in UAE so high. This time the rainfall in this summer in the whole region was really above normal, which is really very huge. For example, in UAE, the amount of accumulated rainfall in one day was 255. You know, a region where, you know, almost desert and semi-arid, and having 255 is really huge. It didn't happen before. And in Oman, it was actually, it caused 300 millimeter. Maybe it is good for you, no issue, but for us, it's really big. Now, in Europe, what happened in Europe? This is drought in Europe. You heard about drought in Europe, isn't it? So this is part of the climate change. And this is what is called the groundwater. You can see here the groundwater is getting low. You see the picture here? You see almost dry. You see, it's almost dry. Can you see? It's almost dry. It's like, this is like the desert, you know? It's not Europe. People now doesn't go to Europe. We go to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is getting green, by the way. And you can see that many pictures of Saudi Arabia where it is green, because you know the flood has come too much in Saudi Arabia and it was dry. So this one is really causing the, now even tourism, by the way, people don't go to Europe, they come to Saudi Arabia. So let us go back to the presentation where, you know, what we said is now the motivation of this presentation. IPCC report is really the important thing that we need to care about. What is the IPCC report? There was 3 working group. One group 1, which is ended in August 2021. Work group 2, which is released in 28 February 2022. Group 3, which is now released in 4 April. So I was contributing group 1, which is the science part. This is the report which is being released in August 2021, where you can find it in the internet. By the way, you can download it, which is very good, and it's good to take care of it. Now, the people who contributed in the report is as following. You know, it is 234 authors from 65 countries. And you can see the percentage of women is 28 and men is 72. The first time is for the people to be in the IPCC was 63%. Which is really the huge, actually, the new generation has been coming to the IPCC since a long time. Now, the new generation are coming to take over. So how many people that refute the IPCC? Refute about 14,000 papers, assist. And we get review comment of more than 78,000. And the idea of this is coming, actually 46 countries committed on the final governmental distribution. So what is the IPCC report did? Actually, we are observing effective climate change already. Just confirm that with our research and experience that has told us is also happening. And now IPCC was also physical science basis. The 2 chunk are, you know, for the, but the most important thing, by the way, it is this one. Or the one, there will be increase of heat wave, long warm season and shorter cold season. This is very important issue, which is number 4 here, 1.5 degree. The warming, there will be increase of heat wave, long warming season and shorter cold season. If it is 2 degree, by the way, there will be heat more often, each critical tolerance and threshold of agriculture, which affect, you know, agriculture and health. Also, we know the home accused climate change with the water cycle affected and the rainfall pattern change. Now, this is the global scale, by the way. Can you see the picture here? You know, this is now how is the distribution of the insignificant. The trend. Can you see the trend here? It's almost increased. By the way, it's green. Can you see the red one? It's almost green, 0.6 degree. And this is what is called all regions are legally equal. This means that all the region getting more heat wave. And this one is the change in the observed precipitation. You can see it's getting more rainfall even for this region. Your region is getting more rain, and this region is getting a bit rain. But be careful on what to say. Now, this is the temperature, by the way. This you can see there is increase on the temperature very high in the whole 2 meter red temperature, but this is just only the observation. And this is the precipitation. You can see the increase of precipitation is in the part of this region, and it is really high. Can you see here? This is MIP6, by the way. And this is what is called global climate and historical run for different region, for the different year up to 2000. But you can see here the precipitation change is high. And you know, this is the higher scenario. This is the minimum scenario. This is lower scenario. So this is actually the mean observed temperature. You can see if it is 2.6, not that much change. But if it is 3.7, there's a big change. If it is, by the end of the century, you can see it's getting warmer, more than before. If it is in the mid of century, it's almost half. In the 2.6, there's not much there, but in the seventh scenario, it is more higher. And the end of century is more higher. And this is the pattern of the change of the rainfall. You can see here, by the way, the region we say that there's a change. You see this region as a whole, the Arabian Peninsula, Kuwait, Pakistan, India are having more rainfall. And you can see Europe is getting lower rainfall, by the way. This is the case. Can you see here? This is the Europe. Can you see Europe? It's getting less rain. But more rain over the Saudi Arabia, over the Arabian Peninsula, Middle East, and Pakistan, India. But this region is getting drier. Can you see? It is the sign of climate change. So this one also about CMIP 3, CMIP 5, and CMIP 6. You see, although from long time it is being predicted, it is climate change happening, getting less rainfall in Europe, and even CMIP 5 is less rain, but also confirmed in CMIP 6, which is the latest results. It's getting less rainfall in Europe, but more rain over the south of the Arabian Peninsula and Pakistan, India. And this is, by the way, the change of the annual rainfall. You can see here. By the way, this is the one figure which is really very good, because this is one of my paper, by the way, which I did it recently in the journal of Air System and Environment. You can see it is getting drier over Europe, and over Saudi Arabia is getting cold, more rain actually, even Pakistan. So this is one of my paper which really shows how is the future of climate change going to be. The region of the northwest of Saudi Arabia and even the Europe getting drier, but the Saudi Arabia, the south of it getting more rain. So this is also, we did a study of the North America. Also, you can see here, this is the temperature, by the way, is all increasing. The most important thing is the rainfall, by the way. You can see here the Caribbean is getting low rainfall, and this region is really getting low rainfall. But if I don't go up, yeah, can you see this one? You see here, this figure, it's all connected, by the way. This is the Caribbean, I will show you. And it's extended up to the Middle East and North America, North Africa. Which what we showed it here. Can you see the Caribbean? This is getting low rainfall. This is Madrid 2021. And the South Caribbean is getting less rain. But this region is North Africa, North America, is getting more rainfall. Can you see here? This region, actually, this region is getting rainfall. Can you see here? It's getting rain, more rain. It's all connected, by the way. And now we did also South America, by the way. And it is the same thing that we showed, that some region getting dry and some region getting rain. What is the idea of getting rain and dry? Actually, what is in the climate change science, the more the region which is dry in the future getting drier, and the region of it getting wet, it will get more wetter. Can you understand? If it is wet, it's getting more wet. If it's dry, it's getting more dry. You understand? This is the philosophy. Oh, this is the temperature changes. This is fine. Yeah, South Asia. By the way, this South Asia, we mentioned this about this. You see, South Asia is really more rainfall here. This is the majority 2020 in our system, but you can see here, this is like Pakistan, India. It's getting more rainfall. And all this, by the way, is the Nepal, which is more rainfall. Can you see here? It's global changes. This is more rainfall, Pakistan, India. This is all precipitation. So it's more rainfall over peninsula, Indian peninsula. And this is Africa, by the way. You can see here, by the way, this is Africa. We can see here it's getting drier. This is one of my paper. It's 2022. By the way, this paper get about 105 citation. And this paper, the Indian paper, actually get about 115 citation, which is really very good, promising. So this is Africa. This is, the North Africa is getting drier, and Palestine and the Middle East, the part is getting drier. You can see here North Africa is getting drier, getting low rainfall. But the region which is here, which is attached to the Arabian Peninsula, is getting more rainfall. Can you see here? This is the whole region getting more rainfall in this region, drier in this region in the north. This is called North Africa. We mentioned this one. I'm just going up and down to show you why the paper is really connected. You see this region, this is what we mentioned in the global picture, and this is what we show in the before. You see this is drier and this is more rainfall. This is Arabian Peninsula, by the way. It's more hot, by the way. This is the thing that we talk about. Now, this dry in the north is connected to the dry in the North Africa. You understand? Because this climate is different, in fact. So this is in the future. This is more wet. This is what we have seen now in the south of Saudi Arabia and south of Yemen and Oman. And there's more rainfall. So this is climate change. And in the CMIP6 is actually showing more rainfall for these regions. And you can see here, this is a connection. This is the dry is connected to the North Africa. And the more wet it's connected even to the south of Arabian Peninsula, to the India, to Pakistan, to all this region. You understand now? Thank you. Now, what are focused on the research? Our work on change of climate different region for the world. Work on what we recommend actually is really to work on climate extreme, but work on more high resolution quality control daily data. So this is what the research should be focused at the moment for the Indonesia and Malaysia. And this is, by the way, the climate extreme indices. You can see here the more getting to the right, which is more warmer level. And this is, by the way, the change in symmetry. It's more changing to the more extreme. And let's in the cold days. Can you see the cold days? There's a shift. You can see shift down, but it shift up on the hot extreme. This is the shift, by the way. This is less new climate is getting less of cold days, but more warmer for warm days. What we talk about now is about interactive atlas, by the way. This is what we're going to show it now. Interactive atlas is really a good tool that you can really use, by the way, for the new generation. So this is, we can show the variables. And here you can show the season, by the way. That's the annual. But you can see you can do it even for Indonesia. This is a very good tool, by the way. And in the presentation, there's a link for this website. And they give you money, good stuff about it. So this is interactive atlas, and more explanation to it is going to be in the presentation, which is really very good to go through it and enjoy it. Thank you very much. I finished the presentation. Is there any question? Do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you, Professor Mansour, for giving us the informative and interesting presentation. All right, now we come to the question and answer session. There is online and offline participant. Please raise your hand to question in this session. There is a question for the online participant. Yes, please, Mr. Azhar Mudalubis.
Thank you, Professor Mansour Azhar Lubis from University of Bengkulu. I think your presentation is very nice, but I have one question. You saw in your presentation, in some region become drier, and then some region become wet.
Yes.
So can you explain what is physics parameter control this phenomena? Why such phenomena in the field of physics happen currently? That's A question. B, you saw also Indonesia now is getting hot, getting hot based on your data. What kind of resolution data you have? And then because we feel recently in Bengkulu especially is more rain. We don't know whether is it associated with La Nina or not. I think somehow we would like to know resolution data you use to analyze data in Indonesia particularly. That is my question. Thank you, Prof. Mansour.
First of all, by the way, I'm not using data for Indonesia, and it's not actually high resolution. This is CMIP 6, CMIP 5, CMIP 3. This is global data, which is coarse resolution. But I'm calling the Indonesian scientists to work on high quality, high resolution data and use, very downscaling method, whether it is statistical or dynamical statistical. We're talking now here about the global picture. We mentioned, by the way, before going to Indonesia, we mentioned what are the mechanisms for this more dry and more wet. Actually, in the philosophy of climate change, people say that the more dry getting, the dry region will get in future drier. And the mechanism of it is really, and the wetter getting the wetter, because, this is the climate system. If the climate system is going to be wet, it's going to be more wetter in the future, and more dry going to be more drier. This is related to the increase of greenhouse gases. So what is we face? That we face not only the climate change system is really complex. It's not controlled by one parameter. It's controlled by many parameters. It is about, the shift in the climate, in the ICSAP climate, the shift. Also, there is shift on the change of the climate, which is really not fully understood. It's not the Nino La Nina, it is MGO, it is IOD, Indian Ocean Dipole, North Atlantic Oscillation, and Arctic Oscillation, Rossby wave. There's many systems. It's not complex, by the way. It's not an issue, an issue. For example, the drought in Europe, it's not just only this year. It was happening for the past 2 years. This is a consecutive 3 years, consecutive dry days. Drought in Europe. And it's not this first year, this the third year. The more important thing that what we observed now for this season, La Nina. But this is not the first time La Nina. This is consecutive 3 years La Nina. Since the 3 years, it is La Nina. So this is actually, it's not a change. We don't know yet. Actually, we don't have that big knowledge in climate change. It's what we know about climate change is very little. The whole knowledge is really from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What He has given us to us is really from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But let me tell you something. This climate change is not started from today. It's not today. It is from the period of the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. You remember the Prophet ﷺ said one day that the day of judgment will not come until the Arabian Peninsula will come green.
Yes,
yeah. So the hadith, it is from the climate change period. By the way, one more thing to let you know, because I study hadith and the Quran, what I found is in the drought of Middle East, North Africa, it's mentioned in the hadith, by the way. There is hadith of Masih al-Dajjal. He came, one Sahabi, he was on the boat and he went to the sea and he was put to the island where he was in one area where he found a Masih al-Dajjal. And the Masih al-Dajjal asked him, where are you coming from? He said, from Arabian Peninsula. Said, it's Muhammad. Kharaj? Said, yes, Muhammad is out. He said, okay, my day has come out. But he asked him for 3 questions. Ask him about the lake of Tabariya. Lake Tabariya is actually in Palestine and getting drier now. And also ask him about the boundary of Baysan. One region in Baysan is in Palestine. And he told him, is it having the date? He said, yeah, it's a big date and too much date. He said, the guy getting more, no date can be in the future. And he asked about one lake in south of Syria. He said, that lake, there is water. He said, yeah, there is water and people drink it and there's one animal. He said, it's going to be no water on this. So this is actually mentioned in the hadith, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we don't understand this, Allah. But we don't understand this action. So this is one of the issues that we mentioned to you. But my request actually for the scientists or the researcher of Indonesia is really to use the CMIP6 data and downscale it using the DXCM, regional climate models, whatever war for DXCM to downscale for Indonesia and have more studies. This is my answer.
Yeah, I think it's very complicated explanation, not only in aspect scientist, but you also mentioned in spiritual how Rasulullah mentioned that later on in Saudi Arabia will be green. Yeah. So my point is, yeah, a lot of parameter, of course, but what kind of adaptation we have to lead in the near future related to adaptation and mitigation to climate change? That is also important question for you.
Actually, let me answer this question. Let me answer this question because it's getting more complicated now. The question.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the science of climate change, there are four things. The first thing is study whether there is a signal of climate change. Yes, there is a signal. Where is the signal? What is the signal? So this is what you need to understand, and then you understand what is the signal. How is it? Is it the increase of temperature or increase of rainfall or decrease of rainfall? Then the second point after the science is really to study the impact of climate change. This crop impact on agriculture, impact on electricity, on energy. This is what you study impact. The third thing is really adaptation. And then adaptation, we have also what is called resilience, by the way. What we need actually, when the cyclone comes, we need to have the people resilient to the climate change on the cyclone. We don't want the people to face the cyclone and get dead of it. So what we need actually is adaptation and resilience, by the way. So this is the term where people have to teach to our, not only the people, but also the government, to the energy sector or the whole sector. They have to study the resilience and how to adapt climate change. For example, in the adaptation, what we need to change the way that of life. And the mitigation, in fact, in changing of the energy. And instead of using fossil fuels, we have to use renewable energy cars, for example, electric car, and you have to use sun, you have to use energy of wind. This is what you need. Yeah, ask a question.
Yeah, good. Last question, Professor Mansour. This is related to, I see in presentation you have very fantastic Aziz supercluster, right? Supercomputing. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if there are some access for our student here. Do you think it's possible, or they are using your cluster from Indonesia, or someday they can visit you in Arab Saudi?
Yeah, but what we need actually, we need to write a project. Because this supercomputer is not free. It has to be a project where the people can work together and really have people to work on it. And then they allow access. It's been accessed also by our students. If you have students in Saudi Arabia, whether Indonesia or whatever, they can use the supercomputer. So we have many Indonesian, by the way, students. So maybe this is actually a chance for you and your Indonesian brother to join King Abdulaziz University.
Okay. Nice, Prof. Mansour. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for Mr. Azhar Mudalubes and Professor Mansour. The next question from online participant, Mr. Bagus Primohadi, please.
Okay. My voice can hear clearly.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I want to say thank you so much to the Professor Mansour, because your presentation is very interesting and very great to us about the climate projections. Okay, here I want to ask questions about, especially in your experience to explore the SMAP data. As long as you use the SMAP data to understand future weather and climate characteristics, especially in the...
I can't hear you very well. Can you repeat again? And slowly.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, I repeat my questions. Especially, I want to ask about your experience to explore the SMAP data, especially in the climate projections. As long as you use the SMAP data or another climate projections data to understand future weather and climate characteristics in the Middle East and the northern part of Africa? Does the data also show some high latitude phenomena that are influential in Saudi Arabia and especially in the Middle East for general? For example, the snow phenomenon in the desert, which has also occurred several times now. Thank you.
Yeah, by the way, the CMIP6 data, by the way, is available online. You can also download it from a server of the CMIP6 and can be downloaded on global data. And also, it has about 35 models, 65 models, by the way. It's not one model, it's 65. But what you need, actually, you need a supercomputer to store this data. So you cannot do it in Indonesia if you don't have a supercomputer. You need to have a supercomputer. And really, I mean, not to, if you don't have a supercomputer in Indonesia, you have to work in America, you have to work in Saudi Arabia, you have to work in Europe, and so that you can access the supercomputer. So this is what you need, supercomputers, to access the data. It's huge data. And by the way, the work that I showed to you is not by me, by the way. It's more than 45 authors in that paper. If you look to my papers, you can find about 40, sometimes 30, about 40. It's not only one person. It has to be multi-work. Yeah. Finish.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
Mr.
for the
Bagus.
explanation, Professor.
Okay, the last question from offline participant. There is any question from offline participant, please? Please, yes. Maybe you come here. Nih. Juni, maybe you come here to this test.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Juni Putri Rizky. Thank you for this opportunity, and I wanna ask you a question.
What's your name first? Selamat malam.
My name is Juni Putri Rizky.
Selamat malam.
Juni.
Hello. Yeah.
So I wanna ask you a question. What is the topic of your research? I mean, the research what you show during the presentation, and what the software do you use for the data processing?
By the way, my research is on climate change science, modeling and climate change modeling. We have also our own global model. So this is actually climate change science in terms of extremes, in terms of prediction, in terms of modeling. All this work is mine. It's not actually, you know, do you know WARF, by the way, of modeling? WARF and XAM. So this is a model that we use for running simulations. And actually, just to give you an idea, I have more than 200 papers. Actually, and I have a student from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, all these countries. And Saudi Arabia, definitely. And I welcome students from your area. So the software that we use for our analysis is a different application, including R, including SPSS, including Fortran, including MATLAB, including grads and different applications for to analyze it. Also, we use R and you know, the application use it for reading the data. This is many things actually. It's a different application. All the applications related to climate change you use. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, sir, for your answer.
Terima kasih.
Professor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Professor, thank you for the complete answer from 3 questions.
It's not complex. It's all the simple answers. Because I'm professor, so I should answer.
Oh, yes. Okay, there is any question more? From
Yes, I
offline
have question.
participant? From
Yeah, go
online
ahead.
participant, please. I cannot see what is your name in line.
Yeah, my name is Irfan Ahmed Sumrov.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Say your question.
Professor Mansour, Assalamu alaikum. And
Alaikum assalam.
I'm Irfan from Pakistan, doing PhD from China. So,
كيف حالك تيجا؟
Alhamdulillah.
هو شوف كيف حالك طيب؟ تيجا؟
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah.
Oh, you are in
Professor,
back. Where are you in China?
yes, I am in China.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, Professor, my question is, first of all, I would like to say thanks. What a wonderful work you have done, and it was novel work. I am impressed from your work. I have a question. What the main reason the European countries was drought and the Asian countries get more rain? And what's the mitigate to the reduce the rain millimeter in Asian countries and increase the rain in European countries? So could you please comment on it?
By the way, brother, I'm not in the mitigation section. I'm a scientist. We
Okay.
know La Nina, El Nino, and IUD, or this thing. So actually, we didn't work on mitigation. Just only to give you understanding what I'm doing. Actually, we just explain what is the mechanism for this rainfall over the Pakistan, over Arabian Peninsula, and more drought over this region. What we understand from this is actually two things. There are three years in the consecutive La Nina. And also, there is actually very strong IUD in Indian Ocean dipole. If you look at it, there is a strong IUD for the coming this month. And for example, this year, by the way, it's going to be, if in the winter, going to be dry over Europe. The other thing is, people will think about it. It is really related to the jet stream. So, for example, this year has 3 consecutive jet streams periods. It's all getting drier and warmer over Europe. If you look at the history of the jet stream this year, you will find this summer had 3 episodes. And this 3 times did it cause drought and hot. Drought is not just only it comes hot. The heat actually before the dryness. When it's hot, it gets dry after that all. This is why you found this, if in the region, it's getting more dry, because even if there's a water, due to the heat, it's evaporated. You know, even in London, it reached about 41 degrees. And people, fry egg over the street over London. Did you see this? You know, even if you check the Hyde Park, actually, if in the Hyde Park, you will find getting drier. But this is not first year. This is the 3rd year consecutive years. So the mechanism for it is really people think it is related to La Nina, it's related to the MGO, related to Indian Ocean dipole, and related even to the jet stream, where the jet increase in the 3 regions, 3 times. So this is the question.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor.
But actually, this is not the end. We have to do research. We have to study more.
Yes.
And this is what opens the discussion where people can really, like you, go and investigate on this issue. I'm working actually, by the way, on one paper which is related about why it's getting more extreme over the Arabian Peninsula and getting more rain.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan Ahmed. We still have 5 minutes more. Any question? Online or offline participant, please, if there is any question more. Maybe from offline participant. No? Okay, Professor Mansour, we come to the end of panel session, maybe?
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih kembali.
Goodbye. I'm really enjoying your presentation, which is more actually interactive. I'm really very pleased that we're much interactive, and there are some interactive people from China. This is very good. Your session is really international. Good luck.
Okay, Professor Mansour, we hope this our join not only in this conference, but we hope we can continue in the other activity, maybe collaboration.
Welcome, you're most welcome. And if you call me, I will come to Indonesia on my own ticket. If not, I will be online.
Okay, terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Again, thank you very much for Mr. Professor Mansour and all of participants online or offline. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.